All right, guys. Appreciate everybody joining. I know we got some more folks jumping on. Today's episode, we are going to be discussing how to save thousands of dollars on your monthly security budget. So, exciting topic right now. A lot of folks out there are kind of asking that question, looking around. There's a potential recession in the loom, and folks are, kind of restructuring budgets. And so, as we head into this, second quarter of 2025, we're getting a lot of conversations in regards to property managers looking to save money. And one of the things that we can offer is a great solution for that. So we'll just kind of jump in right now and get started. So um, we're going to cover a few things here in this event. So we're going to be covering what are some great options for your property to make sure that you're providing great security for your residents, your tenants, and maybe your own asset. So we're going to look at intrusion alarms. We're going to talk about mobile patrols. We'll talk about security guards, and then we'll finish up with some proactive video monitoring. So a little bit of history. We've been in the man guarding physical security business for over a decade. We pivoted out of that to proactive video monitoring. It makes a lot of sense. After today's webinar, you'll understand a little bit more. But we started in the monitoring space, proactive video monitoring in 2021, out of necessity to keep up with the crime and staffing issues we experienced in the man guarding business. Our mission is to provide world class service and ensure vigilance and security, making sure all of your security needs are met. Our track record, we're one of the fastest growing proactive video monitoring companies in the United States right now. So exciting times to be at Overwatch. Some of our existing clients that you may recognize, we work with a lot of, car dealerships, collision centers. We have a niche in multifamily. We've had a lot of great success there. To my knowledge, there's really nobody doing it well in multifamily. We have just a great system that works well for multifamily. So we continue to expand and grow as being one of our targeted niches in multifamily. So multifamily is challenging because there's a lot of notifications, there's a lot of events, there's a lot of people that live on these properties. And our team has figured out the recipe to have success in that market. But you may recognize some of these companies. We also partner with a lot of security companies as well to be able to provide end-to-end solutions. And so here's kind of where we're at today. Modern security options for your property. You have your intrusion alarm. This is what you punch the code in before you leave. First person there in the morning. Somebody breaks into the property, that alarm's going to go off. Unfortunately, in most municipalities and cities today, law enforcement won't even respond unless there's a video verified event. So if you have that intrusion alarm, it goes off, they may not even show up. So depending on what city you look into, I encourage you to look at your city's alarm monitoring laws. Mobile patrols are cost effective. They're usually randomized where a patrol car is going to come by your property, 2 to 3, 4, 5 times a night, check in on things, make sure, everything's as it's supposed to be. Security guards, that's a physical guard on your property that's dedicated to your site. We see a lot of properties using that method. And then the kind of older CCTV cameras. So these are typically just very reactive and they are just recording. So there's no proactive piece to it. But a lot of times properties have cameras that are 10, 15 years old and just not up to snuff with today's times. And we see that a lot. So the challenges that we face in our industry are pretty steep. So crime continues to rise. Law enforcement now requires video verified events. Most methods aren't scalable or effective from a deterrent standpoint. As you can see over in the bottom right, there's a few cities here, top 10 cities as far as crime. And we continue to see that all the time, whether it's catalytic converter theft, maybe it's just transit activity, car break-ins. Every day we hear stories of properties that are really under the gun and dealing with a lot of crime issues. So the apartment industry or multifamily have an 85% higher chance of being burglarized than a single family home. There's a lot of different reasons for that. We're not going to jump into that today. Damages in apartment complex total in the hundreds of millions of dollars for most metropolitan areas, and that's annual. So want to show you guys a quick video. So it's not only just about preventing crime, it's also about protecting the asset. And so I'm going to show a quick video here of how an Overwatch proactive video monitoring system actually helped a property um, recapture some of the loss here in this situation. I think we're talking of probably three properties right now that have garage issues, whether either somebody's ran into the garage, somebody on the ice slid into the garage, or potentially there's just a malfunction with the garage. And so here's a neat little video for you guys. Check this out. So now you've got a security breach there in the building because somebody's ran into the door. And for most property owners, really, there's not a whole lot you can do if you don't know who did it. And so, by having a proactive video monitor system, we were able to obviously get a license plate description of the vehicle, match it on another camera angle. We didn't want to show that, but the license plate description to be able to give to the property manager, they're able to go to that resident and say, "Hey, look, you caused X amount of dollars in damage on our property, and we're going to hold you liable for that." So um, these kinds of things happen every day, whether it's just a random accident or it's malicious. We see these types of events happen all the time. So being able to recover and hold folks accountable is huge, and it's widely important. So kind of where we're at right now, we're fielding a lot of calls from managers and ownership groups that are looking to cut their costs. So it's kind of an uncertain time in the market right now. People are discussing, what a recession might look like. There's also in most cities, there's an oversupply of apartments right now. So on the lease up side, there's it's getting very competitive and challenging to lease apartments. And so folks are looking for cost prohibitive options to help with monthly budgets. And so we have that solution here with proactive video monitoring. And so most properties, they got to have something in place. These days, the days of not having any kind of security are pretty much over. And so folks typically are utilizing some sort of service. And so our solution typically saves people 60 to 80% on their security budget. And we'll talk numbers here in just a few, but substantial savings. And that's why we continue to keep growing. So, once again, what are your security options? You've got that access control, you've got your physical guard, you've got a safety patrol or courtesy officer, and then you got proactive video monitoring. So, as you're considering your options, something to kind of think about: what is the efficacy versus the cost? And typically, what we see is a physical guard is going to be your most expensive option. Patrols, somewhere in there, intrusion, not a lot of efficacy. And proactive video monitoring checks the box of being the lowest cost and the most effective solution for your property. So we're out there educating folks right now about proactive video monitoring and how good the solution really is. So other drawbacks to a physical guard are, typically in most major metropolitan areas, guards rate hour is running around $50 to $75 an hour. That's from a reputable company. So keep in mind, if you're vetting a company, you want to make sure that they have a active guard license in the city that they work in. They've got to have the insurance needs. It's going to meet your requirements, whether it be compliance, typically, millions of dollars in coverage. So a lot of, hoops they have to jump through. Typically, if somebody's got an 8-hour shift, 30 days a month, um, crime doesn't take off on the weekends. So, we got to get that weekend covered too. Most properties are spending ten to $15,000 a month for an on-site guard these days, and so it's very very costly to have somebody there on site. So that can be challenging. Some of the drawbacks with the guard, they can't be in one place at one time. When I was in the guarding business, it was very frustrating for a client to be paying that kind of money. And I recall a site that we had where it was essentially two city blocks. We'd have a guard in one parking garage making his rounds and his patrols. And over in the other parking garage across the street, there would be somebody breaking in and stealing stuff. And so, man, how frustrating is that? So, humans can be often, distracted and exhausted. A lot of times these folks are working, second, third job. Most of what we're talking about is overnights, which is really challenging. If you've ever worked overnights, you understand that it's hard to stay vigilant during that whole 8-hour shift. So people often just become complacent. Vigilance typically goes down. The elements out there, weather, a lot of times guards get moved to their cars or inside of a, an area, a closet or a guard station where, their vigilance is really low because they're combined or moved to a small area. So whether that be snow, ice, extreme weather situations, and so that can be challenging. Even if the guard is dedicated and on top of their job, they just can't be everywhere at all times. So far too often, many communities are paying excess of six figures a year, and they're still dealing with headaches of crime occurring on their property. So we felt that pain. We understood that problem, and really went to the drawing board and created a solution for properties where we can offer and solve these problems with proactive video monitoring. So we routinely save communities 60 to 80% on their monthly budget. Typically, what happens is we enter into a portfolio, we have success, and before you know it, we have the other property managers, regional managers calling and asking for Overwatch by name. So, like I said, it's a great solution. Clients usually go from spending around 10 grand a month to somewhere around $2,500 a month. So, huge savings. So, proactive video monitoring has been proven to be more effective in preventing and stopping crimes. So we have some proof there. We'll be able to show you guys in a demo how effective our solutions are, and it's really exciting. So how does it work? Um, the cameras today are so sophisticated. They have artificial intelligence in them. We can program those cameras on your property based upon what the needs are. So whatever the situation is, we can create a solution around that. But somebody enters into an area they're not supposed to be in, they loiter, they hang out, whatever it may be. Within 3 seconds, there's a trip that's pushed to our live agents. Our live agents are highly trained. They're watching the screen, and they're going to make an assessment in real time. So, what should I do? Does this look like a person that has criminal intent? Is this a resident? How do we go through this process? And our agents are trained thousands of hours now on what criminal intent looks like, what a bad person looks like, those types of things. So if we need to intervene, we have a few different ways of doing that with LED lights and two-way talk. 98% of the time, that gets the job done. If we need to reach out to law enforcement or a contracted security company to remove somebody from a site, we can do that as well. But most importantly, the crime is prevented. So for a lot of people that I speak with, they just want the crime to stop. Once a crime takes place on your property, whether it's vandalism, property damage, an actual physical crime, those things are hard to clean up, and it's hard to ever get retribution for those because law enforcement's so busy that it's just really hard to ever get back what was taken or affected. So that's important. So we use a combination, which is really important to point out, between the cameras, the live agents, uh, some solutions out there with AI now, it's just going to be the voice recording. If that doesn't work, nothing really happens. Behind every one of our cameras is going to be a live agent, a human being that is making a game time decision on whether this is a crime or not. So they're going to have the tools with LED lights and two-way talk to intervene and make contact with the person. There's going to be audio warnings, and we can reach out and contact authorities, which is important. So once again, the advantage: live humans that's supported by AI software, immediate interaction, quick engagement with law enforcement to security guards. It's cost effective and scalable. Another key is that all of our agents are highly educated folks. They're paid extremely well. They work daytime hours. So when it's nighttime here, we're working with daytime people. Today it's 10:15 on a Thursday. I'm wide awake. We're getting things done, making things happen. If you catch me at 3 a.m., I'm most likely going to be asleep. So when it comes to crime, you want to work with well caffeinated people. You want to work with people that are highly motivated to make sure that crime doesn't have happen on your property. We actually incentivize and bonus our team for every stop that they make on your property. So our team is super excited to make sure that you get great results. Got a great environment for our team. Team is paid very well, benefits, holiday pay, all that good stuff. So you can feel good about our virtual proactive agents that are working on the back end for the cameras for you. So one of the other key components is that some of our competitors out there in the market are running a ratio of about 1 to 500 cameras. We cut that in half at 1 to 250 cameras. So keep in mind they're not watching all 250 cameras at a time. Whenever an alert comes through, that push for your property, your screen is coming directly to their screen, and they're viewing and they're taking care of whatever that need may be. So uh, from a technology standpoint, it's very effective and gets great results. Here's a quick video we want to share with you guys. We have just a ton of videos, and we'll talk about those here. Here.
This is private property and you are under surveillance. Leave now.
So the guy enters the building, door broken, access control down, consider stealing some packages, but we're following him essentially through the property. And so in less than 4 minutes, we remove the transient loiterer out of the property, actually criminal intent of stealing packages. And so to get that done all virtually is just really mind blowing. And so there was no security guard dispatched. There was no law enforcement that came. But most importantly, we secured the property, we secured those packages. There was no damage to the property. So this may seem, like not a big deal. It's not a big event, but it is when it's happening multiple times per week in a property. It can be, really challenging to property owners and residents and tenants can feel violated because, these things just continually happen and it's really challenging. So if you're out there and you're wondering, hey, is Overwatch a good solution for my property? I'd encourage you to go to our YouTube page. It's truly the greatest asset that we have to be able to share with you what we do. Hundreds of videos on there, just like your property, whether it's uh, a car dealership, a collision center, a multifamily apartment community, construction site, you're going to see a video that is for your application. I guarantee it. So go on here, click on the search button right here, type in your industry. I guarantee you're going to find a niche that we take care of. So a lot of great stuff there. Also some industry news, and we've interviewed some property managers to let you know about how they feel about us. So a lot of great stuff there. Encourage you, go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe. We put up some funny stuff up there too, so you get to see some cool, funny videos that'll make you laugh. So encourage you to take care, look at that. Kind of back to our client list. Just a few of our existing clients right now. We've just been really blessed and a lot of opportunities that just keep coming our way, and it's because our team does an incredible job. We're building trust in the market, and the relationships just continue to come in. And so, there's Fortune 500 companies on here. There's the largest property management company on the planet on here. We just got some incredible clients, and so encourage you to ask around. If you're in property management or you're looking for a solution, ask some of your peers. So uh, as we kind of come back and just kind of recover here and look at our options. So intrusion alarms are, they're cost effective. You're typically paying about $100 a month for an alarm system. There's no proactive crime deterrence. Consistent coverage, yeah, sure. As long as you got electricity, you should be good. Speed engage is none. Patrols, courtesy patrols. That's what most multifamily properties use, and it's because they're cost effective. The challenge is if you actually have crime happening on your property, criminals are typically smart people, and they're going to wait for that courtesy patrol officer to drive off the property, and then they're going to commit the crime. So it's kind of like spending money, and it doesn't really actually help. Uh, Challenge. There's not a lot of proactive crime deterrence at all because most criminals are usually intelligent folks. There's no consistent coverage. The speed to engage is none because they're not there. A physical security guard, it's not cost effective. It does offer a proactive piece if the guard is doing what they're supposed to do, which means they're out on rounds or out on patrols. So many times I meet with property managers, regional managers, building owners, business owners that say, "Hey, our guards aren't doing their job. They're not making their rounds. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing." And that goes back to all the reasons that we discussed earlier is because it's a challenging job. It really is. And most people aren't doing what they say they're going to do. There's not consistent coverage and there's no speed to engage. Proactive video monitoring checks every single one of the boxes that you may have when it comes to a security solution. It's cost effective, it's proactive, it offers consistent coverage, and the speed to engage is less than 3 seconds. So it's quick, effective, cost effective, and it works. Our product lineup, 90% of our business is in this fixed systems, which is these are systems that we install on properties in the commercial setting only. They have the two-way LED lights. They have a speaker attached to them, and we're able to do the job from a fixed system. We also have mobile units. So for our construction clients out there, folks that are kind of off grid, have got some weird situations, these mobile units, we call them MMSUs, mobile monitored surveillance units. We can deploy anywhere on the planet. We can use Starlink if you're in the mountains. I had a call yesterday from somebody in the Arctic of Alaska where they're doing oil wells and they build these ice roads. We can deploy them there, which is crazy. It's fun. These encompassed units can produce power through solar. They have gas generators. They use either an internet connection through a SIM card or a Starlink situation, and they allow us to do the monitoring and get the job done. We also have a temporary solution, which we call a pull kit, that's a solar option as well. So if you've got a small project just for a short amount of time, we can throw one of those up there for you as well. At Overwatch, one of the things we believe is important is taking care of folks and helping people out. And so we have a program called Overwatch Cares, just a little lets you know a little bit about our hearts and who we are. We believe in giving back. And so $5 for every camera that we deploy goes back to a charity. So every quarter, a new teammate on our team gets to pick that charity. Here recently, some highlights. This is an orphanage in the Philippines that you see on the left. Ronald McDonald's House Charities in the Denver area, and then Children's Hospital. There's a few others that haven't been updated here, but it's important to us as a company to just share with you. This isn't all about profit. This isn't all about margins and balances and spreadsheets and such. It's about making a difference and giving back and helping people. So it's really impactful to our team and our staff to be able to touch the lives of others and help folks. So important stuff. So we've kind of wrapped up today. Today's topic was saving money and planning and preparing budgets for the rest of 2025. So uh, at this time, we're going to take a few questions, see if anybody out there. I know we've had some folks join here. I'm going to click over my screen so that I can see and see what kind of questions that we might have out there and what that looks like. So appreciate you guys joining us. If you got time to stick around for some questions, this would be the time. If you don't, if you're interested in learning more, please reach out to us. We're on every social media thing out there on the world. Most of our clients have our email, but you can typically just go to sales@overwatch.live. You can send us an email and our team will reach out. Go to our website. It's the best place. Go to our website, overwatch.live, and you'll be able to book an appointment for a demo. Demos take about 15 minutes just to kind of show you what we do. We look at your property, see if it's a potential fit for your property, discuss some pricing. We typically can get a proposal or a bid to you in about 20 to 30 minutes. So, pretty quick solution as far as whether you can take a look and assess and see if this is something that makes sense for you. So, got a couple more minutes left here, so I'll switch over and see if we have any questions. All right, let's switch over here. Let me pull up my chats here. How do I talk to somebody about my property? Great question. So back to what we discussed. Best option is going to go to our website, overwatch.live. You're going to be connected with one of our teammates here. Very competent what they do. They'll be able to, you'll self-schedule your own appointment. Um, you'll jump in, discuss, talk about your property. So, with technology today, we can do a great job of covering your property virtually. We like to do that just to make sense, to see if it makes sense for you. For properties budgets, some folks have, we typically, our average property has 9 cameras. So, we have some properties that have 60 to 100 cameras. We have some that have two. There's no property that's too big or too small for an Overwatch solution. So, um, next question is, how do I figure out how many cameras I need? So we like to do what we call a virtual property walk. So we jump on a computer and we pull up Google Earth and we walk around and look at your property and we talk about areas. We have a really neat software that allows us to place cameras kind of like on an overlay map and actually show you what the coverage areas would be, and we can discuss those. And so typically in about a 15-minute period of time, we can get a good estimate or a good idea of how many cameras you might need on your property. So, yeah. Any other questions? All right. Good deal. So, looks like we answered everybody's questions. Thank you guys for joining us today. Today's topic was how to save thousands on your security. So our team, Overwatch, we're super excited right now. We've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of good things happening within our company. The AI continues to keep getting better. Our monitoring team's doing a fantastic job. We would love to serve you and your property. Please reach out, go to the website, overwatch.live, book an appointment, 15-minute demo to learn more. Thank you guys.